Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to Seeking Out Sunshine. I'm Ashley if you are new here, and you have found yourself at another Strokes of Sunshine weekly video where we share what I've been working on in my coloring books. We give a few shout outs and we have a little fun playing. So, before I start in my books, I got this cute little crocheted sun that says, "May your day be filled with sunshine and happiness." And I absolutely loved it. But I thought it would be so cute for me to just have while I do some shout outs. This is like a little segment part of this video that I want to do to shout out people in the community that are sharing their light, and just give some recognition to a few people. So I have two people. I have millions of people probably that I need to shout out, but I'm going to do two this week and then we'll just keep going week to week. So the first one is Nick Coloring, and I will put it up on the screen. But this is a new channel to me, and I just am so impressed by her beautiful coloring. She uses a variety of mediums. Her format for her channel is shorts, so you can really binge watch her videos quickly. But she colors in so many different books and just loads and loads of inspiration. She also is on YouTube, or also on Instagram, and you can check her out there. But please go give her some love this week. I just have been inspired by her and have enjoyed connecting with her, and she is a really cool spirit. So that is Nick Coloring. The other one I want to shout out is at Jane Horton Art. And we connected on YouTube. And when I had the opportunity to go check out her channel, I was blown away because Jane has a story of perseverance and not letting moments in your life completely derail you from what you love. And she's an artist that has gone through losing her eyesight and what that journey has done, and now has become a colorist. And I am so inspired by her story. I am so inspired by what she is choosing to do and how she is choosing to show up to continue to be a light in this world. And I would just love for you guys to go check her out, to be inspired by her, to be reminded that even through our mountains that we must climb, there's sunshine up above waiting for us. So to those two lovely ladies, thank you for inspiring me this week. I hope that there is lots of love poured over you. And yeah, thank you. And I'm looking forward to finding so much sunshine in our community this next week, and can't wait to share with you all what I find. So those are my sunshine shout outs. Say that fast 5 times. All right, now we're going to get into our books. And the first one is Color Me Dinosaurs. You guys heard the story last week of why I picked this page, but I have started doing some pencil shading. Last week it was just the alcohol markers, but I do have some pencil shading started and a little bit of my acrylic markers here and there, but enjoying how it's going. Actually worked on this while I was watching one of the World Cup games with my son, so it was perfect since this page reminds me of him. And yeah, I think it's just a fun little, page that makes you feel playful again, and definitely brings me back to my children's childhoods. We had lots of dinosaur time. I actually can't remember if I showed this last week or not, so I'm going to show it in this one. If I did, I'm sorry, but this is where my Worlds Within Worlds by Caribou Resance page is. I just don't feel like it's done yet, but I don't know what I want to do for sure. I've contemplated a moon here. I've contemplated bringing in some, darker edging, but I just don't know. So hopefully I will figure that out here in the next week as I continue to open this book and look at it. Hopefully something will be decided on that. Next, we have Beauties and Beasties. This is my buddy color with the beautiful Allie over at Artie Allie J. And I do have a video that I'm working on for this background, But this is where I got, as of this week, where I added some of my metallic paints. And then I've started going on over with a gold gel pen. And I might use my Ho-To on top. I don't know. I just want to see. I started with the glitter gel pen just in case the Ho-To was too much. But my idea was to still outline these splatters that I had started with from the beginning, and then where the metallics kind of excuse me, burst out. That is more like the dopamine coloring that we've been seeing, and it doesn't, it doesn't include that. So that's kind of where this progress is at. My next step is going to be starting with the axolotl, and then I'll go back to the background once I get this little guy done to figure out what else I want to add. So definitely just a fun experimentative page there. And then speaking of experimental, this book, Mountains and Wilderness Coloring Book, I got out to do some more experimental pages. Last month I did this page where I just wanted to play with watercolors, if you didn't see that. So I got my watercolors back out, and I have done a base of watercolors on this page, and I love these colors together. I did not pick a color palette. I just took my watercolors down while we were watching a movie as a family, and sat down and just started picking colors out of my my watercolor palette. So next steps would be to go in with some pencils and some other mediums to see where I can kind of take this to the next level and hopefully create some more three-dimensional appearance to it. So that is that one. And then I also have been experimenting with this page. And I think we're going to do a little bit of this today on our page that we're going to do. But I took my acrylic markers and I would put them on the paper a little bit, and then I would take one of my water brushes, and I would like blend it out like you would a paint. So using my acrylic markers as paint. And I loved this process. I loved how like calming it was. It was obviously very repetitive with what I've done so far, but I really, really enjoyed this process, and it was something that I think I needed. Sometimes I think I can get like going so much in one page, or especially like I started this once I had finished a page I'd been working on for a couple days. I just needed kind of like a little breather and something just chill and relaxing and something I didn't have to think about. So the repetitiveness of this was super enjoyable. So yeah, I am looking forward to seeing how this all comes together. And then the next one is what we started last week and in Hidden Earth, and it is my B page. And you guys, I just have to tell you, this community, like, thank you for all the love you gave me on that video. Like, I have been blown away. I did not expect that at all, and it just made my heart so happy to have so many of you reach out from that video. So hopefully you're excited to see this end result, and hopefully Michaela is having as much fun on her page. I've seen the beginning stages of hers and it's amazing, and I can't wait to see the ending stage. But here is my page, and this is where it went after we got off that video together, and I continue to work on it and use this color palette. I threw so many mediums at this page. I have colored pencils, I have gel crayons, I have ink tints, I have rhinestones, I have glitterific, I have the 3D glaze, so many things. My Ho-To marker. I just keep looking at it and I see a new one, and art gel pens. Yeah, a lot. And it was so much fun. And I just really love how it turned out. And it wasn't a page that I probably would have like gravitated for like right away. And I'm so thankful that Michaela picked this page because it stretched me and pushed me in new ways. And I think that's what we need as colorists. I think sometimes we play it safe, or we go to the pages that are in our safe zone or feel more comfortable to us, but we really grow when we do pages that stretch us a little bit more. So Michaela, thank you for that stretch this month. I so appreciate you. and I am looking forward to seeing your page very soon. But that is my bumblebee page from Hidden Earth, and if you're wondering, this was my color palette that I used for this page too. And if you're wondering kind of how I do my color palettes, I talk a little bit about that in my last week's Strokes of Sunshine video. And then this is kind of a little surprise one, so I'm not going to talk much about it. I do have a video coming out on Saturday regarding this book, and you'll see the first part, and then I will have a second video that will show the whole process. But this was a wonderful surprise, and just I am so excited about this page, and I hope that you will check those videos out because, like I said, I think it turned out fun. So be looking for that. But that's what I've been working on this week. It's been fun. It was a really busy week, so I'm actually kind of surprised what I was able to accomplish. And maybe we'll talk more about that as we go here. But let's talk about what we are going to work on today. So I have been getting a lot of questions since my June completed pages video about how do I color in books that I've put rhinestones. So if you are new here, I am obsessed with rhinestones, anything sparkly really, and I put them in many of my books, and this book is no different. And so I thought that I would, so here's a page that has lots of rhinestones. I thought I would kind of go over that to discuss how do I still color in my books that have rhinestones. So for one, if I was going to color any page this direction, so toward the end of the book, I would just take out a clipboard. So let me show you here. I would just take out one of my clipboards. You can't tell that my kids and I have fun on these clipboards. And I would put that behind the page, and then I would color that way. Now, if you don't like the feel of the clipboard, you can grab a stack of like printer paper or even another coloring book or something and put that underneath there so that you still have the paper feel underneath. It's just kind of your prerogative. It would also be dependent on what kind of medium that you're going to use. Now, for a page like this that has this many stones, and if I want to color the back side of that page, yes, I do have to think a little bit more about what I'm going to use because there is some bumpiness here, but I also have to think about where those stones are and where they are not. So again, it does not bother me to have to kind of go through that process because when I completed this page, it brought me so much joy and I loved it. And I wasn't really thinking about whether or not I was sacrificing the page behind it. I was thinking about the now moment of creating this sunflower page and what I wanted it to be. So if I want to color this little daffodil page, I do have to think a little bit more about that while I'm creating. You can put something underneath this to give it a little bit more stability as you create. So even if you have like a thin book or something that could go underneath that you would want to do to kind of, just give it a harder surface to be backed by, you can do that. But we are going to grab some supplies and we're going to play on this page so I can show you that you still can use your pages that have rhinestones on them. Okay, I'm going to actually put this clipboard behind just because I want to show you. So that's kind of how that looks. Obviously, I'll have to take this part off when I am working up there, but just to show you what this process is like in case you're like, oh, how does that work with the clipboard or whatever. And then we're going to start with a soft pastel background. Again, I'm using mediums that I know are going to work just fine on the paper after I've used the rhinestones. And I think I'm going to just use these like cotton pads. I think I'm just going to go into this light blue and just start applying this. Some different spots. Hopefully you guys are seeing this. Again, sometimes it's about just building the color up. And so I'm sorry if it's really light right now, but trust the process. And I can go on or go in with my eraser and clean up some of the petals if I need to as well. So I could do this whole page in soft pastels if I wanted to. So that would be one medium. I'm not going to use watercolor today, but I am going to use water. So, you know, watercolor is something else you could do. You could do markers. I really feel like the only medium that can get a little tricky sometimes is pencil, especially if you are a colorist who likes to use a lot of pressure on your pencils. So maybe if you're a straight colored pencil colorist, maybe that would be a little bit trickier for you, and you'd have to think about that. It's not that it's not doable, it just changes the way you have to navigate it. For me, I kind of like the challenge. It pushes me outside the box, and that's when I grow, is when I have to be pushed outside my box. So I'm going to go in with this blue next door to that light blue, and we're just going to add a little bit. I'm going to take this off for a second so I can get this on the top. We're going to add a little bit of darkness or a darker blue, and you guys can't see that. So sorry. Darker blue at the top here. And again, if you can use the page as a page that you just want to create on and have fun, and maybe it's, hey, I'm going to have a challenge of how do I now do a page that has rhinestones on the back? How would that transition into your life? Because I think that there are a lot of things that I witness in life that people struggle with, or my kids struggle with, or I struggle with, or other people I know struggle with, because they don't have the tools to problem solve. They don't have the tools to say, okay, this didn't go as planned. This didn't work out like it should have in my head. But now, how do I, work through that? And it's things like this, in my opinion, that make us good problem solvers, that make us use and pull from our life and our logic and our knowledge to determine how to go to the next space. So I guess that's kind of why I like this process a little bit, or I like how I was saying that I loved that Michaela gave me a little bit of a challenge with choosing a page that I wouldn't normally color. And I said to her, I want you to pick whatever page that you want to color, because I knew that would challenge me. I knew that I was taking a risk by like, oh gosh, what if she's going to pick a page that I just absolutely do not want to do? And it wasn't that I didn't want to do it. It's just when I looked at that page originally, I had no clue what to do with it. So I'm just using this blue right now. But I kind of wanted that, right? I kind of wanted that challenge. And I see a lot of our young people, and even people my age, that just don't have the toolbox to navigate challenges, hardships, things that happen. And it makes me so sad, because while life is so beautiful and so amazing and, great, it does not come without those challenges. And so to not have any type of toolbox to pull from makes those challenges that much harder. And so, and I should have put my tape down. See, you guys, I learned stuff and you guys are like, Ashley, you do this every time. I just get to talking, guys, and I'm not thinking. All right, well, that side will have a blue sky someday. And see, that is how we will handle that challenge. All as well. You just do it, guys. But yeah, so we have to figure out how to handle those challenges. And that was a long roundabout way of saying why I enjoy figuring out in my coloring books what I can do once I've done rhinestones, but that's how Ashley works. That's how I work, friends, you know. We have to be able to have a toolbox, and we have to be able to figure it out. If everything was easy, if everything was seamless, we would never get to where we're supposed to be. I've had some really hard times in my life, and in fact, the last couple years have been really hard. And I have to choose whether I'm going to sit there and reside, and that's going to be where it is, or if I am going to choose to stand up and say, let's go, and let's figure out something different. Or let's figure out how to get through this hard moment. And that gives me, each time I do that, each time I stand up for myself and I choose to walk through the hard or walk through the challenge, it adds something to my toolbox. And it will do the same for you too. So if you're going through something hard, if you're going through something challenging right now, I would encourage you to figure out how you can walk through it, how you can be creative in that journey, how you can problem solve. We truly grow. We say in our family, and ironic that we are coloring a picture of flowers right now. We talk all about how when a seed is planted, it's in the dark for a really long time, right? It has to reside in that darkness and spend time there before it can bloom. And we, as people, don't get to see all of that underneath time. We get to enjoy when they're above ground and beautiful and bring us all this happiness and stuff, but we don't get to see the dark times. And that's a lot with people too. We don't actually really know what anyone is going through, because most of us keep that on the inside, or we just deal with it, right? And it's not what we go out and share for the first time. I mean, you don't meet someone and say, hi, my name is Ashley, and then like word vomit all over them. Well, sometimes I might do that too sometimes, but for the majority of the time, we don't do that. And so we don't really know. But I tell my boys, our low is when we grow, because when we are planted somewhere that is challenging, and we are planted somewhere where we have to like think outside the box and we have to navigate something new, we are growing in ways that we don't even understand. Not that I wish hardships on my children or anyone else, but they do shape us. They do make us someone different, and they do add to our toolbox for the next thing. I have pulled from moments in my life that have been very, very hard and difficult, before and future moments, and I find gratitude in that. I find gratitude for those difficult moments because they helped me and guided me through those future difficult moments. Or even sometimes I've had the opportunity to guide somebody else through a moment in their life that was difficult, and because I had gone through that experience, I myself, I was able to help them find some tools. So we really never know what we're learning in that space, or how we're growing in that space. But our low is when we grow, friends. And before I started this channel, I was growing a lot. I had some major lows, and those lows actually guided me to do this, to take this, you know, leap of faith and to put myself out there in a really scary way, because I was like feeling this need to be like, to be in a space that I would force myself to show up for myself, if that makes sense. That I would be in a space to like make sure that I was held accountable to choosing me, and to make sure that I was loving on me daily, you know, doing things for me. And it's been one of my biggest blessings this year, has been starting this channel and being introduced to some sweet spirits that I didn't even know I needed. And I'm so grateful. All right. So we're throwing on a little yellow here. I'm going to get a little bit of pink too, I think. Let's try maybe this one. I'm still learning how to navigate like different skies and what they look like. It's amazing now that I am coloring in the ways that I am. I look at the world so different, and I don't know if you guys are that way, but I'll like, everything I look at is like a color palette, or how, you know, where the shadows are and where the shading is, and it just, you just see things so differently. And I love it. It's wonderful. I think we should put a little pink up in the sky up here. I mean, really, just put it wherever your little heart says it needs it. I'm going to put some glitter on those bee wings at some point. I'd tell you that right now. And let's put a little yellowy pink down here. So yeah, let's see what else. Like I said, I've got that video coming out on Saturday. And I've been working on some other videos. I've been trying to take all your guys' suggestions, and I am trying to work on those. So I appreciate you being patient with me. But I will continue to work on those things. So if there's something that you see in my videos or on my channel that you have a question about or would like to see a video about, please don't hesitate to put it in the comments or ask me. I will do my very, very best to work on those. I did hit 500 subscribers this past week, and oh my gosh, like that's crazy, you guys. When I started this, I was like, maybe I'll find like 20 people that will want to hang out with me, and we can, you know, talk life and color and just, you know, be women at this time in our life that, you know, have this connection of loving to color and create. And 500? What? That's just insane. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I want to do a live because it terrifies me, and I want to be a verb, and all the things that I, you know, give to you guys, I want to make sure that I am being a verb in my own life. And I am showing up in those ways. So I don't know why the live scares me so much, but it does. It's just new, and that's how we are. We're humans, and when it's something new, it scares us. But I would love to celebrate with like a Q&A. So I would really appreciate your questions. I have a post on my channel. If you wouldn't mind going over and putting your questions on that post, it would mean the world to me. Do you have questions about my journey? Do you have questions about coloring? Do you have questions that you want to know about me? I mean, obviously, if it is a question that I am capable of answering and it is appropriate for me to answer, I will, and do my very, very best for that. And so anyone who would be so gracious to go over on that post and ask a question, it would mean the world to me. Because if not, it's going to be a boring Q&A if I don't have any questions. So please go do that. But yeah, so pretty excited about that. Again, I am just like full of gratitude and appreciation that really anybody would want to sit and watch me color and watch me gab and everything. But I really do want to be a beacon of light for all of you. I want to be someone who can remind you of the light that you are and the value that you have in this world and in this life and what you're supposed to continue to do. You know, you were created to shine, and you're supposed to continue to shine no matter what your circumstances are. And I think as women, we have a lot of messaging that tells us differently. And so I want to be a beacon of light that reminds us that we are supposed to do that. And I'm trying to work on that myself. I don't have it all figured out, nor will I ever, just because I believe that that's kind of life. And so hopefully we can navigate that together, but that we can be cheerleaders for each other in the process. Because, man, we got a lot of naysayers out there, and we don't need any more of that. I think all those roles are taken. So just be you and be a light for yourself. And when you work on being a light for yourself, then you can work on being a light for others. And so I think that that is just a really important thing that we as women need to band together and be, and quit all of the garbage talk and the meanness that is out there. And the way that people just do it behind a screen, you know, I can't believe it sometimes. I was watching, so if you know, I was a dance coach for like almost 20 years with my sister, and I love dance. It's, you know, been part of my life, my entire life. And so I love watching the DCC cheerleaders. That just, you know, brings me back to so many things. But I cannot believe the hate that those young women are getting for doing something that they love, and the ridicule. I mean, like, these girls are incredible dancers. Like, I don't know what dancing people are watching, but we just like ridicule imperfection. And I don't know where anybody thinks that perfection exists. It just doesn't. And so watching that show, I was just like, man, more the reason to spread the light, more the reason to love on people. And it doesn't have to be people you know all the time. We can love on strangers. And if there's something in the social media world that you're like, don't agree with you or whatever, like, it also is a choice to keep scrolling. It's also a choice to not respond. And you don't have to always put out the negative. Like, what if for an entire day you just said, I'm only going to be positive? You guys, I'm a pretty positive person, and that's a really hard task. Like, it's not that I go throughout a day and I am just, I mean, there are times where I, you know, get frustrated, or I get upset, or something bothers me, or I look at something, I'm like, oh, that's dumb, or whatever, you know. Like, what if you like challenged yourself for a whole day? In fact, I'm going to challenge myself too, for a whole day, that we could not say anything negative, or even think it. I mean, like, let's be honest, internal monologue speaks louder than outside monologue a lot of times. But I mean, gosh, that changes everything, right? Like, if we aren't positive, or we aren't putting out anything but positivity, that energy field of what is going to like go out into the world is going to be life-changing. And then can you imagine if this whole group of 500 souls did that, and what kind of wave of energy that would provide our world? And then what if you encouraged all of your circles to do the same thing? I mean, that's massive. That's a massive shift. And it's kind of like my parents used to say, you're a reflection of who you hang out with, right? And so they always wanted me to be very mindful of the friends I was choosing. And, you know, I say that to my kids now, you know, that if somebody were to see you with this group of people, would you be proud, or whatever? And so think about, like, sorry, I think I just got chalk pastel, my nose. Think about if your collective group like did that and the impact that it would have on the world. It would just be insane. Yeah. It would be actually magical. I think that there would be a lot of blessing and happiness and joy and love that would surround those spaces for sure. Okay. I think that's good for a first layer. I don't know that I'm done with the background, but that shows like you can use soft pastels on a page. Next, I want to grab some acrylic markers and show you kind of what I was doing on my trees yesterday when I was working on that page. So this is my guana acrylic marker swatch sheet. I was gonna look here. I'm gonna put these away so I don't dump them off the side of my table, because that would be something that I would do. And let's see here. I think I want to do maybe this really light yellow and this yellow. So let me find those colors and then I will hop back on. Okay, so I grabbed 3 out. I have 626. You guys can see here. 626. I have 652, and then I have 656. So we are going to try these. And I'm going to get a paper towel. And I'm going to start my water brush here. And then I'm going to start with the darker yellow. I think I might use the yellow that has some more browns in it for the center. Okay, so I have found that if you take both the caps off and you just have both of them ready to go, that is the best option, because you do kind of want to work quickly with the acrylic paint, because it does dry pretty fast. And I just need to figure out how far up I want to take this. So it might take me a couple petals to figure that out. And that's okay, because I can go back on top. But I just like to get the paint kind of wet, and then I work the paint where I want it. And again, this is a really great option for the backs of your rhinestone pages. So again, I put the acrylic marker down. Now I'm going on top of all of it so that it has some water moisture on there. Oh. And then going and taking it where I want the color to be. Oh, that is an unhappy little puppy outside my window. All right. And if you start getting too much water, you're definitely going to want to like wipe it off. And I'll take some of that darker color at the end and put it in the corner. So it's just, I mean, you're going to use your markers exactly like you use your other mediums, with a light, medium, and a dark. You're going to use the paint like you would a watercolor, where more water to blend it out is going to make it a lighter color. All the rules still apply for how I've been using it. So yeah, I'm going to let that one dry. My goal is to finish a flower with you guys so you can kind of see that process. And then maybe we'll do a little bit of the grass so you can see a different color combination. But again, I'm just going over it, getting that wet, and then taking the color where I want it. It's just a lot of back and forth. So this might feel like tedious to some, but when I was doing it yesterday, it was so calming. And I just was playing like some quiet music, and I just kind of got in a zone. And it was kind of nice that I didn't have all these little details that I had to think about. What color is this going to be now? And yeah, it was super calming for me. So I think if you want to try something new and you want it just to be kind of a calming, relaxing experience, and you have acrylic markers, I think you could use probably any acrylic marker. I don't know. I haven't tried my other acrylic markers. I've only done this with my Lango gel pens. I did it actually in a page in here. And now my guanas are the ones I reach for the most. I just feel like they work really well, so I haven't tried other ones. But definitely don't feel like you need to go get these markers to have this work. Try all of your markers that you have first. You also can do a method like this with water-based markers. I feel like you have to use more water though, and that would be a little bit of a concern with the rhinestones on the back if you have to use a ton of water, because of just how the rhinestones create more puckers in the paper with that water. So let's see, is that, it's not quite dry yet, so we'll do another flower here. I do really like these acrylic markers though. So yeah, let's see. My week was so good in a lot of ways. I am kind of in denial. My youngest turned 13. I don't even know how that happened, or I swear when people used to tell me when they were little, like, I blinked and you grew up, I'd be like, oh my gosh, that's so dramatic. It's not far from the truth. I feel like I blinked and he is all grown up, and I cannot believe he is a teenager and goes to junior high next month. Oh my goodness. But we had lots of different celebrations for him. We celebrated on his actual birthday with just our immediate family. And then the next day he had a little party with a few of his buddies. And his friends are so fun. It's just such a great group of kids. And so that was a lot of fun. And then the next day we had like our family party. So he had like a whole fun into the weekend celebration for his birthday. And he said he had a great time, and it was one of the best birthdays he's ever had. I'm pretty sure he says that every year though. He's like the sweetest. He just loves birthdays. And not just his own. He loves birthdays for everybody else. He gets so excited for people's birthdays, and he's like the kid since he was little has like loved spending his own money and getting presents for people. He loves it at Christmas time, and he is the most thoughtful gift giver. Like the things that he comes up with to buy people blow my mind, and the amount of time and effort he puts into finding things most adults don't do. And I have said so many times on this channel, you guys, my children are my like best teachers. Like it's just incredible what I learned from them. But yeah, he loves birthdays. Birthdays just equal fun for him, and it was a great time, and I'm just grateful for all the family that was here to celebrate with him, and I'm grateful that he has wonderful friends that could celebrate and all the things. Okay, so now I'm going to use 626 as the lighter color here. But yeah, so that kept us pretty busy for the most part for about 4 days. And then the other great part of this past week, my sweet mom, who many of you know is battling Alzheimer's right now, had a horrible fall about a little over 3 months ago, about 3.5 months ago, and broke part of her spine and has been in a neck brace 24/7 since then. And that has been a challenge just because of how uncomfortable it is, and she has to sleep in it. And most days we didn't understand why we had this neck brace on, and we had to kind of relive what had occurred and what happened. But man, she is amazing, and as a trooper, she made it all the way through those 12 weeks of having to do that. And we just get it off this week, and it was wonderful. She was so happy. She usually is happy when she goes to the spine doctor, and they are just lovely to her, and we are so grateful for that. And she was singing the whole time. She's got the most gorgeous voice, and she was singing in the waiting room, and they were just talking about how much they're gonna miss seeing her. And she was like, "Oh, I will come back. I will come back, and I will see you." And I just, like, that moment of watching her and the example of, even in all of the muck and hardness that she has in her life right now, that she could still be joyful and bring joy to other people, was just a really good reminder of, I have to show up and do the same, even in the hard. And because we all are climbing mountains, friends, and every day my mom reminds me that some people are climbing really hard mountains. Because if you've never experienced a loved one or someone you know go through Alzheimer's, it is horrific. Like, there's just no other way to describe it. It's absolutely horrific. It's a nightmare in a lot of ways. And she continues to bring so much joy to everything that she does, and so much love in the spaces that she's in. And I'm so grateful for that. I know that it might not always stay the same, and it may change, but right now I'm finding so much gratitude that she continues to bring joy and love in the spaces that she's in. Okay, so that shows the lighter color, and then when this dries, I'm going to bring in some whites to kind of like finish that up. But I think just for time concern, I'm going to probably stop there today, because I have some things that I have to do today. One of them actually being a doctor's appointment for my mama that I need to get ready for. So I am going to stop there today. I will continue to try to work on this so that you guys can see where it went. But I hope this gives you guys an idea that you can still color and still create on the back sides of pages with rhinestones. Whether you put a board down, whether you think about mediums that you can use that would be better. And I could even probably use my Prismas. In fact, I will try to do that. Use my Prismas on top of here. You just have to be more conscientious of what you're doing. You can't press really hard. I mean, you can. You're just going to maybe get a little bit of a bump here or there. But it's very, very doable. It's just about shifting your mindset just a little bit and pivoting and navigating a little bit different. And so I guess that would be my challenge to you this week, is that how can you pivot when you are faced with a challenge this week? How can you come up with a new solution? How can you add to your toolbox? Maybe how can you help somebody else that is trying to navigate a challenge? And hopefully all of us pouring out positivity and love and sunshine will just be a rippling effect to those circles that we are a part of, and it will catch on, and we can, in a sense, as cliche as it sounds, change the world. So I am sending you guys all my love and sunshine. Bye for now.